Welcome to the Dot Richardson Show, everybody. I just can't believe it's happening. I want to blame my husband for that. Bob, it's on you. But this is the first episode. And since it's the beginning, I thought it'd be fun to really get back to the beginning. When I was a little girl, I have to tell you that I knew that God had given me a gift in athletics. I knew it because I loved it so much. I can't even express the feeling that I had in just running and jumping. And I'd see a ball and I'd have to like bounce it and kick it and play catch and, hit it. I don't know. I just felt so alive doing it. But there was one problem when I was a little girl. Society made it perfectly clear that girls were not supposed to be athletic. What am I to do? It was the weirdest thing. I knew that God had given me the gifts. And at night, I would just say, Lord, why did you give me this talent? And beyond talent, just passion, just feeling so alive doing it. Lord, why did you give it to me with no opportunities? I'm sure you have felt that sometime in your life. When you're like, why am I good at this? Or why am I pursuing this? When it seems like every door is shut and there's no way that this can possibly happen for me. And that even other people are saying to give up on it, give up on any dreams you have or goals that you have. Well, I just committed myself to keep having fun doing it. See, I'm one of 5 children. My mom and dad, having my oldest sisters, Kathy and Laurie, and then my older brother, who's 3 years older than me, Kenny, and I have a 1-year younger brother, Lonnie. And so it was almost like we had a couple different divisions in the family. I think you can relate to this. Like my 2 older sisters, only, 1-2 years apart, like they were one set, right? And then I had my older brother, who was kind of he's the first boy and so he was kind of that only child and grew up pretty fast and has that old soul. And then there was Lonnie and I, like we were almost the afterthought if you think about it. It was like, it's so funny when I look back at those days, my big sisters, like they kept thinking that my younger brother and I just had it so easy. And I think you can probably be laughing or smiling when you think about this in your family, when you look and go, if you were the first or second born, it's like the parents are really strict, right? They're very nervous and afraid. But by the time Lonnie and I came around, they really had been through it a number of times. So for us, we just had a little more freedom, I would say, growing up. And it's funny, like if you were going to my mom and dad's house and you would look at pictures, you'd see there's the firstborn, Kathy. And then you got the secondborn, Laurie. And then you have the first boy, Kenny. And then you see a picture of just Lonnie and I together. It cracks me up when I think about it. But it's so funny when I look back on those years because my older sisters, they were off going to school away because my dad was in the Air Force and I didn't really get to grow up with them much. But when I did, they made sure. I felt like Cinderella, you guys. I felt like I had these stepsisters that they wanted to make sure I stayed in line. But I was a free spirit, adventurous, I would say out of control, but in a fun way. And I just loved to play any sport you could think of. You name it. I just loved it. And my older brother, he'd invite me to play with his friends. And what's interesting when I look back, it was like society made it perfectly clear that too bad that I'm a girl and good at athletics, right? Sports, because I wasn't able to play any organized sports. But the boys didn't have a problem with me, you guys. They would pick me first above my 3-year older brother or my younger brother in pickup games after school. And man, I couldn't wait to play those games. Soccer and you just name it. Just loved it. And particularly baseball. Loved it. My dad would coach my brothers and I got to be the Batgirl. I couldn't play. Didn't have a uniform. I think my dad let me wear one as a Batgirl actually. But at night when I'd ask the Lord, I look back now and I realize those were words of a child. See, we don't know what God's plan is for us, but I can tell you, He gives you this feeling of purpose, of passion, of a drive, something within each and every one of us that we know it's something special, that you just love to do it. And you may not see the doors open for you. You may not see right away what the plan is. But I hope as we dive into the Dot Richardson Show, and I'm going to take questions from you guys in the future and just talk about different issues and everything, the hot topics, not just in sport, but maybe throughout what's happening in the world. Talk about biblical truth. And even, I have to tell you, in my career, I've seen the evolution of sport. And I'm so excited to share that with you and to see where we are today. But as I reflect back in the beginning, as we start this first episode as the beginning, I look back and I see my mom and dad just recognizing the gifts that I was given and supporting me in any way they could. If you're a parent, are you supporting the gifts that your children have? Are you supporting them? In fact, I asked my mom, I said, Mom, how come I can't play Little League? So you guys, I not only wanted to play Little League, but I wanted to play in the major leagues. I wanted to be a major league pitcher. I can't even play Little League. But my parents easily could have said, are you crazy? Like, forget those pipe dreams. Like, what are you thinking of? But instead, they were encouraging and they were supportive. And when I asked them later, when I grew up, like, how in the world, did you allow these things to happen in such an amazing way for me? Because it started with them saying yes. It's because they knew that I had a passion for what I was doing. I was determined to do it. But also they knew that God had given me these gifts and they trusted it and they could see that I was too. It all started this one day, you guys. My parents got my brother a brand new catcher's mitt. And my brother asked me, not his other buddies, but asked me to break in his brand new catcher mitt before his Little League game. See, he knew who had the fastest fastball, right? And here I'll never forget it. We're right behind this 5-level aluminum bleacher just outside the baseball field where his game was coming up after the previous game before him. And I am there firing this fastball. I still can hear the pop of that brand new catcher's mitt as I fired this fastball. And you guys, I'm imagining being a Major League Baseball player. Are you stifling your dreams? Are you holding yourself back? Are you making these little goals only because you know you can reach them? Or are you daring to dream big? Because you feel alive doing it, no matter what society is saying, no matter how many people are holding you back. Well, this was my moment. I didn't expect anything from it. I was just being me. And I'm firing this fastball. And I am determined to break in that catcher's mitt for my brother before he would start his game. And then all of a sudden, this coach comes my direction. And come to find out, he was a coach of the Little League team who had just got done playing. And he came over to me and he said, wow, you got a great arm. How would you like to play Little League Baseball? This is my moment. Are you kidding me? All of this time, all of this dreaming, all of this imagining, all of this prayer is about to be answered. And you guys, in practically the same breath, he said, well, we're going to have to cut your hair really short and give you a boy's name. We're going to call you Bob. Have you ever been so close to doing something that you felt you were born to do. They were so excited about doing it. But man, you were going to have to compromise and compromise a lot. I want to encourage you. You don't have to. You don't have to. I looked at him and I said, "Sir, thank you, but no thank you. If I have to hide who I am, I just don't feel it's right." So as my big brother went to his game, I was turning in the other direction, just heading towards a friend of mine, and her name, Sunday Brown. Never forget that name. And in fact, you guys, I heard from her a few days ago. I cannot wait to touch base. But here's Sunday Brown, great athlete. And she had a baseball with her glove. And of course, I had my glove. And she said, "Hey, you want to play catch?" It's like, "Sure." So we walked onto this bigger field. And I never really recognized what sport was played on that field. It had a skinned infield, and it was really big. And there were people that were on the infield, but her and I snuck into right field, really deep right field. And we're playing baseball catch. That's all we knew. And as I've shared this story before, people are like, "Well, how did you feel when that coach, wanted to change your name and all this?" You guys, to this point in my life, I had felt this rejection. It was kind of like a part of my life to that point. But with love around me, with family, and the love of the Lord within me, it didn't make me feel inferior or feel like a reject. And I want to encourage you. If you're rejected for whatever it might be, a job, a position, you don't get the scholarship you're hoping for, or you're not on this certain travel ball team, or just in life, you're not feeling like you belong, your moment will come when you're going to feel like you belong. And don't let rejection make you feel like a reject, because you're not. Each and every one of us, amazing, given life with the opportunity of free will to make the choices. I want to encourage you to make the right choices, to stay who you are, knowing that we're all sinners and fall short of the glory of God. Choose a direction that will honor Him. Hate sin, not the sinner. Recognize we're going to have our purpose. And this was the moment. Sunday Brown and I are playing catch in right field. And this other coach, he comes running up to me, way in right field, right? And he goes, "Wow, you got a great arm. Do you have a minute to talk to the head coach?" I was like, "Sure." And as him and I are walking from right field to first base, I looked on the infield, and no longer were there boys there. There were women. This had shocked me to this point in my life. And as I rounded home plate heading to third, out from the third base dugout came the head coach. It wasn't a man, it was a woman. And this had shocked me again to this point in my life. She said, "Have you ever played softball?" "No, what is it?" "Oh, it's just like baseball, but it's a little bigger. Get on third base, take a few ground balls." I was like, "Sure." And I'm sprinting really quickly. Boom. In a dash, I'm right there at third. And as I'm taking these ground balls, I'm firing the ball around. And you guys, the first thought I ever had when I touched a softball, fielding that ground ball, the first feeling was a little bigger, but I'm firing this ball around. And I'm throwing it to first. I'm turning a double play. I'm just feeling like so alive. And you know why? Because I felt like I belonged. I mean, when we are doing what the Lord wants us to do, guess what? We feel this peace, this presence, we feel just His joy, this joy. I don't even know how to describe it. And I hope through this camera and on this podcast, you guys can feel what I was feeling and have an understanding of how amazing it felt to have this opportunity and a willingness to just belong, to be a part. Well, the coach called me over and she said, "How would you like to play on our fast pitch softball team?" Yes, I would love to. It's not like baseball, but it's similar. It's almost like baseball. Yeah, absolutely. And when she looked at me, she goes, "Well, how old are you anyway?" And when I told her I was 10 years old, she almost died. She had this look like, have you ever seen, for those youngsters, all of us were young at some point, but when your parents had this look in their face when you know they're going to say no, she thought about it and said, "Well, let's go talk to your mom and dad." I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." So here we go. We go to my mom and dad's house, right? So we go to our home, and it was funny because this time I brought these coaches to the front door, the sidewalk going to the front door, go up those steps. We never use the front door, but I'm bringing them to the front door because this is serious. This is like big time. So we're in our living room, and they asked my mom and dad if I could play fast pitch softball. See, what was amazing about it is this team, the Union Park Jets, the average age of that team was 22. So mom and dad had this look, and then they looked at each other and they said, yes. And my dad looked at me. Yes, said I could play. My dad looked at me and he said, "Okay, if you're going to play third base," because they said they wanted me for third, you better, in the ready position, you got to have your glove up in front of your face. Like, "Dad, what?" "Okay, all right, I will." I share with you in this first podcast that moment in my life because it was one of the most impactful moments. When I had asked my mom, "Why can't I play Little League?" You know what she said? She said, "Because when you strike out all the boys, their parents won't be able to handle it." And I was at the age where I'm like, yeah, she's right. Now I understand. Imagine if she had said, "Well, because you're a girl, girls can't play." But instead she said, "Because you're so good." I knew, just keep waiting. The time would come. And here's the time. I got to play fast pitch softball for the first time at 10 years of age for the Union Park Jets. Ironically, the uniforms were red, white, and blue, foreshadowing, if you would, the future of being a part of the United States national team for years. And you guys, like, I couldn't fit in any of the uniform shorts. So my mom had to go and buy a pair of red shorts that would fit me. And she sewed on the side this stripe that was white and blue that was on all these uniform pants, and she tried to simulate it. I'll never forget that. And there's a picture we'll have to share with you of my first picture as a fast pitch softball player with the Union Park Jets at 10 years of age. As I'm standing there with that photo, notice black kangaroo cleats. Yeah. You talk about the evolution of our sport, the evolution of women in sport, black kangaroo cleats. I'll have an episode when we talk about a lot of that. It's going to be awesome. And I am just, my arms, my hands are on my hips, and I am just feeling so tall because this is a moment I have dreamt of for almost all of my life to this point. The bigger message for today, as I reach out to you, is like I learned so many life lessons in those moments. And I'm hoping that I can encourage you to look at what the Lord is teaching us. Look at the lessons that are being taught for us in order to encourage us. And this was one of them. First, I know that God has a sense of humor. Because when that baseball coach ended up saying, we'll have to cut your hair really short and call you Bob, to disguise me as a boy and call me Bob, God has a sense of humor, because years later, I married a Bob. Cracks me up every time I think of that. Even my niece asks my husband, like, really, did that happen? And he goes, I don't know. I wasn't there, but yeah, it happened. And the Lord brought me my Bob. I didn't have to compromise who I am. You don't have to compromise who you are. God has given you gifts. He's given you within yourself to know, and that power we're talking about with power and purpose. If you've accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, instantly we have the Holy Spirit within us. The power from the Holy Spirit, which can help us discern what's right or wrong. But yeah, in life, we're going to make bad choices. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and tell you that, yeah, they might be bad choices. But guess what? They're not going to be wrong ones, because it's going to lead you exactly to where you're meant to be. But I can tell you, if we are choosing things that honor the Lord, honor our families, honor ourselves, we do those things and search for righteousness in what we do, we're going to be able to live with those choices a lot better. And I want to just point out to you that in my stories, I pray that you try to implement them into your life and things that have happened. Because I wondered, Lord, why was it me? Why not Sunday Brown? She's an amazing athlete. Why was she not asked to play or try out, if you would, and then play for the Union Park Jets? See, each and every one of us have a purpose, because guess what? The next year, when Title IX came into effect in our neighborhood of Union Park, just outside of Orlando, Florida, Sunday Brown became the first girl ever to play Little League in our area. You know that if I hadn't found softball, or it had found me, or the Lord had directed me that way, I would have been playing Little League. And I'm sure it would have been fun, but also very challenging. The boys not too happy about it, or the parents of the boys, I should say. And maybe I would have been able to play in high school. Sunday went and played baseball at Colonial High School, I believe. She ended up being a standout in track. For me in high school, I played volleyball, basketball, softball, track and field, and tennis. And I mean, I can tell you, I look forward to sharing these life lessons and experiences in my life as we continue with the Dot Richardson Show and these podcasts. But that moment was so impactful, and I hope that you see it in your life. You don't have to hide who you are. God has given you these gifts, and the power is within. And for those that don't believe in God, if you're an atheist or agnostic, or you don't know what I'm talking about, I hope you send in questions. I hope you continue to follow this podcast. Follow me, because I want to take you on a journey. And this journey is of empowerment and purpose for something bigger than ourselves. Thank you for tuning in. And I look forward to sharing more and more life lessons and experiences that hopefully we can connect to and connect with in big ways. So until the next podcast, I wish you all the best. God bless you. And just know you have that power and the purpose when you're seeking the one who gives it all.